Hello, sorry for the unannounced live today. I've been to have my hair done, which is giving me life at the moment because the greys are finally gone. So I'm going to keep this one really, really short because we have at least another full week next week, plus stuff going on over the weekend of training, events, workshops, masterclasses, all designed around getting you in the right headspace to really succeed as a meditation teacher. So whether you haven't done your meditation teacher training yet, whether you're thinking about integrating it into your business, or whether you've done that already and you're not getting anywhere fast, or you're just at a point where, do you know what, I want to feel more alignment in what I do, and I want to get the big clients that I've been dreaming of and get some more income. And all of this you absolutely deserve. So this is what we are doing today. Hello, whoever's said hi. I can't see who it is. Sometimes Facebook does that to me. So today, first of all, I should say, for those of you that don't know me, if this is the first time that you've joined our group, we've had loads of people join over the last couple of weeks. So if you have not met me before, my name is Charlotte and I'm the founder of Exhale. Exhale is the UK's first mind body class to combine modern chart music with movement, with breath work, with easy intuitive meditation. So our mission in the world at the moment is to make meditation fun and to help people feel alive. So calm is our base level. Most people associate meditation with feeling calm, feeling settled, and that's awesome, it's beautiful, but actually we're in the business of making people feel alive, making people feel connected, making people aware of the wisdom that their body sends us. Our minds and our bodies are so connected, and it's such a shame that people aren't able to access that wisdom and that knowledge, and are not able to use their physiology as well to help them understand what is happening for them in the world. I could talk about that for hours and hours and hours, and over the next couple of weeks we'll be talking about all of that kind of stuff, like why this stuff matters and why it's so important that if you haven't trained as a meditation instructor yet, that you consider adding it to your armory. So if you're a therapist, if you're a yoga teacher, if you want to go deeper with this stuff, stay tuned over the next couple of weeks because you'll be finding out exactly why this is so powerful and so important. So we've been really, really privileged and able to work with amazing brands like Google, like ITV. We've worked with celebrities in their homes. We got asked by Fern Cotton to go and teach at her festival. We taught at another really big wellbeing festival and sold out every single one of our classes. We have had an amazing, amazing time of it, and we now have a team that's nearly at 60 of instructors which are teaching the Exhale meditation method. So we really know what it takes to get yourself to that level of success. Now this happens for us quite easily, quite naturally. Everything feels alignment. There's so much more joy. There's so much more ease in everything that we do as a result of the hard work and the steps that we've put into place. So this challenge over the last 3 days has been about me explaining to you the steps and the secrets that make this work, that make this business really enjoyable. So today we are talking about niching and why that is so important. We're also going to talk about how on earth you go about picking your niche as well. So first of all, to begin with, why is having a niche so important? Well, the biggest thing for me was when I truly, truly believe, so I'll start with this bit, I truly believe that meditation is for everybody, but you are not and never will be everybody's teacher. It's really important to have that in your mind. When I first started doing this, I wanted to market my business to anyone and everyone. So you could divide the world up into gender, into demographics, into what they do for a living. You could split the world up into as many different ways as you want to split it. I was trying to market myself and my business and appeal to all of those people, and to a large extent that worked. We did get lots of clients, but what I found was there was still this heaviness and this sense of resentment almost towards these clients that weren't perfectly aligned to me and my mission. So sometimes it felt exhausting showing up, trying to fix every single problem that exists in the world. Whilst I know that meditation can help every single person and it can fix pretty much every problem you've got, especially now that we are really understanding the mind-body connection and how everything that's going on in your mind is reflected somewhere in your body and vice versa. So if you've got stuff going on in your body, it's probably affecting your mind in some way as well. Basically, if you strip it down to its most basic level, meditation can pretty much help you with, not going to get rid of that problem, but it's going to help you ease that problem. So we were getting to the point where we were trying to fix too many problems at once. So our classes were becoming really generalized. And I started to feel like the clients that were coming to our classes weren't necessarily getting the level of service that I knew that I could give them if they were all in that room for the same reason. And if you've been in business for any length of time at all, you will know what I mean when you have these clients that come and work with you and it's joyful. It feels like a perfect match. It feels easy. They think the same way as you. So your lived experience, your language, your energy really resonates with them. And that work that you do with them feels effortless. And and because you're not doubting yourself, because you feel comfortable with that person as well, you're much more able to go into your flow space as well. And then from that point, you're able to work from your heart more easily, without having to adapt, without having to minimize, without having to change, without having to censor anything that you're saying. And therefore, that wisdom that lives within you and those downloads that we get from spirit, being spiritual people, that's the way it works. The wisdom that we pass on to our clients doesn't come from us. It comes from, whatever you want to call it, the space around us. It comes from that, whatever that is, that's bigger than you or I on our own. It comes from there. So when we are sort of not feeling comfortable with our clients, when we're sort of feeling a little bit resentful, when we're thinking, I don't know how best to serve you, it is forcing us to move into that space where we actually aren't honoring that wisdom fully that comes through us. So that's one of the biggest things that I noticed, that when I started to focus on just fixing one problem at one time for one specific type of person, that it became effortless again. And that the wisdom that flowed through me came through much more naturally. There wasn't that blockage, there wasn't that sense of heaviness, there wasn't that need to pull back and pull out a little bit. I was just fully present in the moment with that client. So it helps you to stay in alignment. When you make that choice, and we'll talk about how to make that choice in a minute, but when you make that choice, it allows you to stay in alignment with who you really are. And it allows you to fully enjoy and embrace the experience without having to change a thing about who you are, without having to change anything about how you teach or how you operate. And the caveat to that is that you need to be operating as a base level standard, a high standard, and you do need to be responsive to the situations and the energy that your clients bring to you on any given day. But ultimately, we want to create a realm in which we operate, if that makes sense. And the other reason why that's so important is that consumers on the whole absolutely love experts. And we know that in order to be able to sell to any clients, and that's in any space, any business space at all. In order to be able to sell to clients, they need to know, like, and trust you. And positioning yourself as a specialist allows you and affords you the time to have more experience with clients. And the more we work with clients, the more we learn, the more we grow. So by default, by specializing, your skills get better based on the length of time that you've been working with this particular type of person in isolation. So not only do they perceive you as an expert, you actually become an expert over time as well. And we know that that level of trust needs to be in place before people are comfortable to buy. So specializing allows you to have a head start on building that relationship with people because they've already positioned you in a certain way in their mind's eye. The other thing it's really good for as well is it makes collaborations and networking so much easier. This is such a growing industry. It's such a great space at the moment. It's a really exciting industry to be in. But when you when you haven't chosen a niche, sometimes it means that it's not as easy to establish collaborations that complement each other. It's not as, there may be some conflicts of interest if you're both looking to solve every single issue that may exist in a particular community. So if you know I'm the person that we go to that uses meditation to help you with sleep, then it's really easy for you to find another practitioner that could complement you. So it might be that you then are able to find a yoga practitioner that also specializes in sleep, or you could do it the other way around and find a yoga practitioner that specializes in something else, and there's definitely 100% no conflict of interest. The other thing it really allows you to do as well is that you get known for that in your particular community or area, so that you become the go-to person. So it's so much easier for people to be able to refer you when they're talking with their clients, and their clients are talking about particular problems that come up. That's how we generally talk about our issues that we want to have solved. You might be just in conversation with somebody, and then they're able to say, actually, I know just the person. So niching really, really helps you in terms of alignment, but it also helps you in terms of referrals. It helps you in terms of collaborations, and ultimately both of those things are going to bring more income into your business. So you can choose to specialize based on your passions or your knowledge. So we'll talk about that in a minute, but there is another caveat to that, and that is about making sure that the niche that you pick actually is profitable, or it is a viable niche, it's a viable business. With the Exhale instructors, they are gifted a niche when they train with us. So when you sign up for our meditation instructor training, you actually get 2 qualifications. So the first qualification that you get is a diploma in modern mindfulness and meditation practice, and you also get the opportunity to certify as an Exhale instructor. So anyone that trains with us essentially is gifted that niche already, because if you take the Exhale certification element of the training on as well, you are then trained to be able to deliver these beautiful classes that seamlessly blend movement with breath work, with meditation, and all set to modern chart classics. And at the moment, we're the only meditation class, we're only mind-body class that we know of that operates in that manner. So they have the opportunity to stand out and to be different, to be unique, just by using our Exhale class format. And ultimately, as the marketplace gets more crowded, having something really unique sets you apart from the crowd. People very rarely choose their products or their services or their classes based on price. They should make that decision much more. They're led by their hearts, they're led by their guts. It's an emotional decision, and it's more about They're choosing you based on the experience that they perceive that they're going to have, or based on the transformation that they are going to get at the end of it. So we can niche in terms of the experience, as I've just described, by delivering this really unique class format, or you can niche in terms of the transformation that this client is going to receive as a result of coming to your classes. And when you have niched down, so when you have picked an area that you want to specialize in, that transformation is much more easy for you to communicate. So how do we go on if we're not an Excel instructor, or if we're an Excel instructor and we want to niche even further and just work with a specific type of person, become the Excel instructor that specializes in whatever it is? You need to look at your passions first of all. So I would essentially get 2 lists, and I'd write down everything that I enjoy learning about, I enjoy talking about, the stuff that I could do without being paid for it. Okay, so that might be that, you know what, for whatever reason you've got a real interest in weight loss, or you've got a real interest in building people's confidence, you've got a real interest in building people's creativity, whatever it is, and just make a list of all of those things that you enjoy learning about yourself, that you enjoy engaging with yourself. Is it that you want to use a specific type of music in terms of your meditation? Is it that you're really interested in heart-focused meditations? Is it that you're really interested in sound healing? What is the thing that lights you up? What sparks that fire within you? Then on a separate piece of paper, I'd love you to write down all of the problems that you know that you can solve. Where is your knowledge base? Where's your skills base? What problems can your knowledge and your skills solve for people? And just writing hello, whoever that is. I can't see who it is for some reason. It is not showing me who. It's just saying Facebook user. But hello, thank you for joining me. I've come on live without giving anyone notice, and it's like really close to school pickup time, so I want to keep this really short. I'm nearly at the end actually. So you've got your 2 lists of things, and hopefully there is some crossover where one of the things that hi Emma, one of the things that you know that actually you're really good at solving that particular problem matches up with your passion, or there's some way in that there's a trend between the 2 lists. There's some crossover, so we're looking for themes, we're looking for trends within those 2. And then once you've narrowed it down a little bit, it might take a little bit of time. And what's really important to remember is that this is not forever. So whatever you pick, it's not for a lifetime. You know, it's very important in business that you adapt, that you pivot, that you are able to change with the times, with the trends, with your clients, and with the world. Like the way the world is at the moment is meaning that we're having to really think on our feet and adapt and change more often than we might have done before. So it's about then looking at those crossovers between your passion and your knowledge, and then making sure and checking that niche that you're going to pick for yourself is actually profitable, that it is able to become a viable business model. So how do you do that? The only way to do it is to get out there and start and test it. So if you've already got a client base and you can test it through questionnaires, with doing a little bit of client research and seeing what the common problems is. Yes, we have certainly done a lot of pivoting this year, hopefully not too much more. Asking your clients questions about the things that they struggle with, really listening to their language, listening to the stories that they tell you, even if that means earwigging conversations when they're coming into class, you know, just really making the client the focus of your attention. And rather than, yes, you want to have this beautiful creative idea that's been gifted to you, but it needs to be matched in terms of, is there somebody out there that actually wants this problem solving? And if you've already got a client base, then you are a million times ahead. But if you haven't got a client base, the best way to get out there is just get out and test it. Maybe find somebody else's audience. and ask them, ask if you can have some time with them to ask them some questions. Ask your local PTs, your yoga teachers, can you send out this questionnaire? Whatever it is, just getting yourself in front of some people just to make sure that actually what you're putting out there is desired. The other way that you can do it as well is looking at what the experts are talking about. So one of the things that really excites me at the moment is that there are so many experts in the business world projecting that anything to do with mind, body, spirit, and mental health awareness, all that kind of stuff is going to absolutely skyrocket. And the other way to look at it as well is obviously we're based in the UK. Looking over at the US are normally a couple of years ahead of us in terms of their trends and in terms of what they like doing. And if you look there are so many meditation studios, there are so many meditation specialists. It's really, really boomed over there. So that is going to come across the channel. We're in the process of that happening as we speak. And I think it was Gary Vee that said that this was the year where meditation was going to go mental. And actually signs are that that is the case. We are seeing it more and more and more. The other way to look at this is from a more spiritual perspective and looking at and honouring, again, I think I've said this every day in these trainings, looking at the fact that meditation is designed to be delivered from teacher to student, and that the student is, traditionally they find their teacher exactly when they need it, and they're attracted to that teacher, and they are aligned with that teacher because of that teacher's lived experience. So the things that you go through in your life, you almost go through them, you almost transform as a result of that, so that you're then able to support somebody else going through those similar, or even in some cases exact same scenarios that you've lived through. So one of the ways that you can pick your niche is looking back at your life. What were the themes that were going on for you throughout your life that you have now solved with meditation? So for me, and I know it's the same for you, Emma, as well, confidence and minimizing ourselves, not really liking ourselves, hiding ourselves, feeling disconnected from our true selves, trying to adapt and change ourselves to get acceptance, that fear of judgment all the time. And that is exhausting. It's so heavy. And there's still a tiny thread of that exists even now through me, but it's something that I'm really aware of. So I know that my meditation practice has really, really helped me on that journey, because it's helped me reconnect to myself. So my head might have whizzed off somewhere else and be thinking about all of the comments, all of the things that other people might be thinking about me, but I'm now able to, through my practice, to be able to become aware of that thought process, to be able to look at that thought process objectively, to be able to observe the thought process rather than becoming engaged in it, so that I'm then able to stop that, to choose a different thought, to turn my wheel of awareness, if you like. That's something that we teach our Exhale kids how to do. To literally, you can't, when you've got a really sticky thought, you can't just tell yourself to stop thinking it. You have to direct your attention elsewhere. That's how the brain works. So I've now got the ability through my meditation practice, which essentially builds my muscle of awareness up, strengthens that muscle, so I'm able to catch those unhelpful thoughts and put my attention back on me. I'm able to come back into my body, to reconnect to my strength. Every time we take a really deep and full breath, we're reassuring the body that all is well. And that automatically changes our physiology, but it also automatically changes by default. So the physiology then changes your thought patterns as well. So you start to think less negatively. So I know, long story short, that meditation can really, really help with those issues that I'd struggled with my entire life. So one of the ways in which I specialize is that I help people fall back in love with exactly who they are. So you'll see like the name of the cover photo for this group. the last launch that we did, there was loads of graphics that we put out at the start of the year, were all around falling back in love with who you are. Because essentially, and I'm sure Emma will agree with me, but in my childhood, in my teenage years, even as recently as, even right up into my early 30s, I was still very much hiding parts of who I was. And essentially what we're telling ourselves then is that we don't like parts of who we are. And actually what I've done is reclaim a lot of that back through my practice. And that is what I aim to do for other women as well. So it doesn't have to be a specific, a more practical issue like sleep or weight loss or anxiety, for example. It can be more circumstantial. It can be more like that journey, and just helping people just really take those steps to transform into the best version of themselves, I guess. So that's all I have to say today. And Emma's saying that's so true. So your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to make sure that you've watched the other 2 videos, taken the steps, especially yesterday. Yesterday there was a business plan that absolutely 100% works. If you do everything in that plan, you will get and retain clients. And remember, I said in that video, it's not about likes, it's not about your number of follows, it's not necessarily about the number of views. Like today at this live, I didn't tell anyone I was coming on, so I've hardly had anybody be able to come and join me. But I know that at some point when the time is right for the people within this group, they'll watch this video and they'll take from it what they need. So it's not necessarily about any of those things. You can still make money, but you need to have had that business plan that incorporates a full journey for your clients. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go back and watch that. And then I really want you, if you can, to start to streamline your practice, to start to streamline your teaching so that you have niched and specialized, so you can become that go-to person in your community. And yeah, and it just feels so much lighter, so much more free, just to really sit in that space of this feels good for me. And this is based on my own experience. So I know this works. So I'm going to go. Remember that we are back for 2 weeks now. So there's so much more that's coming up. If you watch this on the replay, as usual, please do let me know that you've watched, or drop me a message, drop me an email. I've had loads of messages from people and emails from people to say that they are watching, even though they can't make it live. I've had some requests for things to come on in the evenings. I'm going to do that for you next week. But for now, enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. See you later.